and welcome back to another Sharp Fit for Life podcast. I'm Marty Sharp, and I'm here with...
It messed up the intro. We're both meant to say form at the same time.
We're both meant to say form. Is that what we were
that's what I'm
saying?
trying to explain, but you already started the thing too early.
Yeah,
So.
whoops.
But I'm done.
So reps or form, which is more important?
So you just didn't do it again. Just form at the same time.
Form. Do I have to go 3, 2, 1?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Form.
So what was that about? Why did you want to say form at the same time, out of interest?
Well, because I'm pretty sure we both agree the answer is form.
Well, absolutely. Certainly when it looks like if you want to progress, you definitely have to have good form, etc. I'm going to shut this door. I've got people coughing next door.
Not corona, though.
No, thankfully not. I think it's just generally him being him. So that's not a bad thing. So it all depends. It's like all these things, isn't it? It all depends on what your goal is. It all depends on what you're trying to do. It all depends on where you are. So when you come down to these kind of questions, it really is quite awful to say which one is actually better. But there is kind of that simple thing, you know. You should always earn the right to actually progress. You should earn the right to increase the number of reps.
We have had a podcast on that, so if you missed it, check it out.
We did. You're absolutely right.
Well, I'm trying to point because it's all wrong. It's not like which way would be backwards. It's not that way, is it? It's that way.
I thought you were dancing for a second. I got the dad dance going on. Yay!
Oh, we've had a podcast on that. Check it out that way.
Excellent. So definitely do that, whichever way is gone. We talk about the fact that you do have to kind of earn the right to progress. So you make sure you got your form right. You want to make sure that actually when you are kind of getting to that point where actually it is easier because actually you find that you are able to do the reps and you push yourself that few extra reps, that you're not doing that by sacrificing a good quality exercise piece, that you're not failing because you're just throwing anything at it and you're kind of potentially putting yourself into a position where you might be hurting yourself. But that said, reps is still quite important, you know.
No, yeah, it is. But like, no, I suppose because some exercises you need like 20 reps at lower weights.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's still good form though, so maybe they go hand in hand. But
it does, and it all depends on what you're targeting. So I think, did we talk about it before about how you actually build muscle using kind of 3 kind of techniques around metabolic stress, mechanical tension, and DOMS?
We might have touched on it because I do remember the DOMS conversation.
Excellent. DOMS got DOMS. We did have that the other day as well. Although not for a while because your foot's still under repair.
Yep, it's green.
It's green. That means it's on its way out. I'm pretty sure anybody who's a bruise expert, please confirm in the comments below that once your bruise goes green, it means that it is actually getting better. He was telling me earlier, actually, you could get in the shower and it didn't hurt, which was a nice thing. Yeah. The good news is he's been getting a shower and it's been hurting. So you all know he does get a shower.
They didn't park all to get in there, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, back to reps. So when you're looking at kind of doing high number of reps, what we can do with that, we can use that to increase the metabolic stress that's occurring inside the muscle, which means we're kind of pumping it through the blood, it's getting all those nutrients, etc. It's going to increase the amount of lactic acid and things that is being built up in there, and that in itself allows the muscle to grow. It'll basically tear down those muscle tissues as being used, and then obviously the repair process starts again once you're in that resting state. Whereas mechanical tension, what we'll probably look to do is actually increase the load quite significantly, but have a lower number of reps. But you can probably see this quite evidently if you look at, for example, weightlifters, Olympic weightlifters, etc. They probably do a very low number of reps. In many cases, it might only be 1, but at the highest amount that they possibly can. And this kind of brings that nice relationship.
Is that not dangerous?
It can be, yeah. I mean,
because I've seen people like, well, I haven't seen it in real life, but like bow the legs in and stuff.
Yeah. I've never seen that happen in real life either.
No, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, no, neither do I. So let's not do that. But yeah, I've seen the YouTube videos as well. Not a nice or pretty sight.
So is that just because they've done dangerously big weight and got the form wrong though? That must be form.
It could potentially be form. It might be something like a defect that they've got, or they're carrying inside the bones or something. It might be actually that they're just getting slightly older and they start suffering from some kind of
bones.
Yeah, effectively osteoporosis or something. There's a whole variety of reasons why things like that could happen. We could all speculate, etc. but it's not a common occurrence. It's not like, you're going to go out there and do that. When you were saying, you could hurt yourself, I was thinking more around the fact of getting yourself into a hypertensive state, which might hurt your heart or something.
No,
that was kind of where I was thinking. And you've definitely seen that happen, even with some of the amazing weightlifters, like the World's Strongest Man and things, where, they are lifting so hard and there's so much pressure, blood pressure going through the body, that they do start bleeding out of their nose or eyes, etc. So it's definitely something that can happen. But for that vast majority of people, certainly anybody that we pretend to be coaching, I think it's not something we would be advocating to push yourself to those kind of limits. But that's because we don't coach Olympic weightlifters or people going to the World's Strongest Man. We're really looking at trying to help those people that are more around owning their own business, or just part of a family, or somebody who's really just after improving their own health and lifestyle. So in most cases, they're not really going to push themselves to that kind of limit. There are exceptions, absolutely. It's like everything in life, there is the exception that proves the rule. And some people will come along and they really are absolutely committed. They push themselves, they really take themselves to the limits. And it's good, because actually they're probably exploring their own bodies as much as anybody else is doing. Though again, it's about being sensible and kind of explaining, what some of those side effects are, and make sure, again, they've got the boundaries that they're going to be able to work within. So yeah, there's that relationship though between the number of reps that you do, the kind of exercise that you're going to do, and also the kind of improvement that you're going to go. Now, there is a whole school of thought that says, I think people call it the repetition continuum or something. By if you do a certain number of reps, you're really looking at targeting for maximum strength. And you do a certain number of reps, and you're targeting for hypertrophy. And if you do a certain number of reps, you're targeting for endurance. The reality is, though, regardless of what you will do, you will be improving your max strength, hypertrophy. By hypertrophy, we mean muscle growth, and your muscular endurance whenever you're doing any form of exercise. Now, obviously, when you get up to that kind of real athlete kind of position, then they will be targeting very specifically how to do things. But for most people, just the fact that you're going to the gym, or you're getting yourself out exercising, or you're working out at home, wherever it is that you're doing it, by actually just manipulating the amount of weight that you've got and the number of reps that you've got, you'll be able to make improvements across strength, muscle building, and endurance.
Well, I do remember one of the first times I went to the gym, I don't know when that would be, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think you were about 15 because you went with when you were at school, weren't you?
Yeah, it might have been 16.
Was it 16? No, because you were pretty much finished school by then. I'm pretty sure you did it for a year.
Maybe, because I know you meant to wait till about 16 for your bones to not be soft anymore and stuff. But there was a big meter in there, and he told me to just anything you do, always do 3 sets of 8.
Yeah,
and he was massive. But, a real meter, bald and just.
Yeah. Well, different people, different lives, and everybody's body.
I mean, it clearly worked for him.
Yeah, absolutely. But for some people, that just doesn't work. I mean, for example, if you're carrying an injury of some kind, or you're getting later on in life, trying to do 3 sets of 8 with high weights, etc., isn't necessarily always going to be an option. You might be carrying a shoulder injury, or you might be struggling with your back or something, in which case there's probably other ways that are going to be more beneficial to you than doing maybe 3 sets of 8. And likewise, I mean, if you look at the different ways that different Olympians really train and different athletes train, you've kind of got two really big opposite schools of thoughts. Actually, you've got the Arnold Schwarzenegger school, which is basically high reps, and you're constantly going. He talks about shocking the muscle and all this kind of stuff.
I've seen them videos. Actually.
Yeah. You look on YouTube, you find them all over. And absolutely, I mean, it worked for him. He was absolutely fantastic. And again, he coached a lot of really good people.
Yeah, he always switched up his routine, didn't he? Just to shock it up. Yeah, I remember seeing something about that.
Absolutely. And then if you go to some of the other bodybuilders, for example, they are completely the opposite side of the equation. They're saying that it's all about mechanical tension. It's about basically loading up and basically doing fewest number of reps, targeting specific muscle groups, sticking things in isolation, all those types of things. But the thing is, you can use both methods, because once you've kind of really tired your body out with the mechanical tension side, and so probably when I help people with this, we tend to use those as the first couple of exercises. Then we can move on to using the metabolic stress. So actually, it's the way I had it described is it's a bit like having a picture frame. And if you think about things like mechanical tension, it's like a circle inside that square picture frame. Whereas what you want to do is if you want to maximize the capability you've got, then you need to work out how to fill the corners. And that's where effectively putting in that metabolic stress types exercises can really help. Because then you're able to sort of target all parts of the muscle, you're able to get all those fibers twitching, the slow moving ones, the fast moving ones, etc. So you've got much more opportunities there. So it's not, I don't think it necessarily is a conversation to say, is reps or forms more important? I think both of them are equally important. I think when we're talking about progress and you're looking to increase the number of reps, then definitely you need to have good form first, and we'll look at that. And if you're going to increase reps with things like force reps, or cheat reps,
we were doing a little workout the other day though, and when we did drop down sets, you were saying to go until your form goes though.
That's right.
So like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that
as soon as you lose your form, you drop the weight and go lower. As soon as you lose your form, drop the weight, go lower. So form is really important.
That's right, and that was specifically about the drop sets and the way we were working with those. So for you guys, if you're not too sure what a drop set is, what that is as you get to the end of your main set and you're completely tired, you can't do another rep, certainly not a rep that's of any good form, then what you'll do is you'll reach for a lower weight and continue to do reps until you get to the same point with that, and then drop it and go for the next one. And the idea behind it is you can completely exhaust the muscle. You're looking at removing any of the kind of energy centers that it has in, so exhausting the creatine phosphate, you'll exhaust out of the lactic acid system. And at that point, you're probably in a position where actually your arms are barely moving. So usually you won't be able to do it for more than maybe a minute or so. But for that minute, you've absolutely given it your absolute all for those muscles, and there's nothing kind of left in it. And it's a nice way that actually, once you are looking at how you can try and progress that a little bit, it just keeps it interesting as well. Because there's nothing worse than getting to the end of another boring day's exercise. There's nothing more infuriating if you've been doing the same thing week in, week out, 8 weeks on the trot, 12 weeks on the trot. And how's that actually keep you motivated and interested? It actually keep going.
My problem with it. Stay motivated.
Yeah, so it's about mixing it up. I mean, sometimes it'll be a case of you have to do similar kind of exercises because at the end of the day, a muscle's a muscle, a muscle. It's not like I can make it move in a different direction.
No.
Your bicep is designed to lift your forearm. It's not designed to kind of kick your leg or anything. So likewise, it's how can you introduce those kind of things and make it a bit more interesting for people.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, excellent. Any kind of other thoughts or questions on reps or forms?
I'll ask one more so I end on 13 minutes because that'd be awful. I'm joking, but
he says he's joking, then he's actually trying to think of a question.
Well, yeah,
not entirely sure that's a joke.
That's a bit of a joke, a bit not. I'm not too superstitious, but can't be ending that on 13. I don't know what else is there to touch upon.
I think we kind of touched on all the basics there about forms and reps. I think the key takeaways for this one is with form. Just work the exercise the way it's supposed to be worked. If it's the one where you're allowing yourself to have cheat reps towards the end, then know that which muscle groups that you are going to be cheating from.
So cheat reps are very bad?
No, they are if you do your entire exercise set through them, because if
but say you'd set, you want to do 12 bicep curls, which 12 kg is really light, but with 12 kg, right?
Yeah.
For some reason you couldn't. I remember for some people, you get to like the 10th, like you've done them all. Yeah, and then you get to number 10 and you're starting to like swing a bit. Should you keep going to 12 or just stop?
Well, it depends. If you're in the for me, when I'm advising clients, when it's the first few sets, what I'd recommend to do is kind of when they get to the 10th rep, if they don't feel like they can do another one with good form, just leave it. Then wait the rest period time and then drop into the next set. And then start repping again. If they're getting towards the final set, and in most cases I'll ask them to go completely out to failure on something like that, then just keep going until the point where you start to throw other muscle groups in, or you start swinging, etc. And at that point, you've got nothing left, so put them down. Unless you've been asked to do things like cheat reps or force reps or drop sets or something.
Yeah,
something to keep it interesting.
Excellent.
And the good news is you got us above the 13 minutes. For nearly 15 minutes to go.
I can talk some more because I really need a haircut, to be honest. It's so long. I'm like you soon, a bit like.
Oh, I know.
Maybe I should go for that.
Yeah, I'm
I was
for
joking about that, but I could do it.
What, Nutty Professor look?
No, like a little ponytail, like you've got.
Oh, right,
It's
right.
nearly long enough to be fair.
It's like mini me, is it? Is that what it is?
I ain't got ginger hair though. No.
Oh dear God. So anyway, let's summarize this one because I think we've gone through a lot of bits and pieces. We've talked about coughing in the family. We've talked about your haircut. But I think more importantly, we've talked about forms and reps. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Any questions, feedback, comments, etc., please just leave them below. We're quite happy to answer anything. If there's anything you think you want us to cover on a future topic, then let's do so.
Yeah, leave that in the comment as well.
Yeah.
This video will be live on YouTube tomorrow morning.
Ooh.
Mm.
Excellent. And then obviously we'll get up onto the usual podcast platforms. So,
Yeah, so I got Amazon, Spotify, and Apple. All the big boys now.
Apple's on Spotify, Apple, Google. Yeah, it's on there as
Yeah,
well.
Google too,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And Anchor. So yes, lots of different places you can get access to this. And I've been looking forward to hearing from you all. Have an absolutely superb week ahead. And I'll speak to you soon.
See you next
Bye
week.
for now.